We are ready to begin. So today I hope to share some information about Advise Tennessee, an initiative that's a partnership between the Governor's Office and the Tennessee Higher Education Commission. Talk a little bit about both the initiative generally and the process that we are going to be undertaking to select partner high schools for the beginning of implementation, which will start in fall of this year. So the Drive 55, I think that you are probably all familiar with Governor Haslam's initiative to meet Tennessee's future workforce needs by having 55% of Tennesseans equipped with a college degree or certificate by the year 2025. That really is the guiding principle and kind of northern star, if you will, for this initiative and really several of the initiatives that we have here at the Tennessee Higher Education Commission. THEC, for those of you who are not familiar, is the coordinating board for higher education in the state of Tennessee. We coordinate and support the efforts of post-secondary institutions in the state. We serve as a policy entity. Higher education funding flows through the agency, academic program approval, data analysis, tuition recommendations, program development, and so on and so forth. These are really the things that THEC has been doing since it was created in the late 1960s. In addition to this, however, there are several offices here who have grown into this more programmatic realm in addition to the policy pieces that we do for higher education. The Office of P16 Initiatives is the office that is focused on increasing college access and success amongst a traditional age student population. We firmly believe that every Tennessean should have the opportunity to pursue higher education. And really what we do on a daily basis is create the resources and programs that transform college aspirations into reality. Some of the initiatives that you may be familiar with, Gear Up Tennessee. Tennessee has a $4.5 million a year grant, a 7-year-long grant where we are working in 15 communities across the state. That's implemented by this office, collegefortn.org. Also the Path to College events. College Application Week, College Planning Night, College Goal Tennessee, which will now be called Tennessee FAFSA Frenzy, and College Signing Day. And then also Tennessee Promise Forward are just a sample of the initiatives managed by the Office of P16 Initiatives. So this brings me to Advise Tennessee. And to kind of give you a sense of the initiative, just want to provide a program overview if I could. So this initiative really is the culmination of things that the Office of P16 Initiatives has been doing for over a decade now. We will be serving at least 10,000 juniors and senior students across Tennessee. We will be hiring 30 college advisors. They will be trained college access professionals that will really focus 100% of their time and effort on helping students enter and succeed in higher education. It is our goal to have one advisor to approximately every 350 students. I will talk a little bit more about that here in a minute. That is while that is the ratio that we aspire to, we know that the realities of sizes of schools that might not completely work out statewide. School partnership is key in this initiative. Advise Tennessee advisors will be placed in partner high schools that will be selected through a competitive bid process, which we'll walk through that as well. But key for this program and for THEC is that the schools have articulated a strong commitment to building a college-going culture and have articulated a strong commitment to partnering with Advise Tennessee to really move the needle around college-going within their school. Advisor services will be rooted in research and best practices sourced from Tennessee and around the nation. We'll be pulling from everything that we know and have learned from implementing the Gear Up program, looking at national organizations like the National Advising Corps, looking at state or nonprofit organizations that do this work, like the Niswonger Foundation, the Ayers Foundation, really culminating all of that into a comprehensive program that we really think will serve students very well. So our theory of change really is rooted in this idea that through a committed partnership with partner high schools, Advise Tennessee, along with school staff, will be able to provide individualized advising that is research-based. We will track data, and looking at data, looking not only for continual improvement for the program, but it is our goal that we could ask an advisor or a principal or a director of schools could ask an advisor on any given day where their school is on one of the metrics we'll be tracking, which we'll talk about as well. like college going or FAFSA filing or college application, and we would be able to report out where every single student is in the school in that pipeline. That's really key here, and I think that's what we've seen to be successful in the programs that we have implemented and that we have observed, is this idea of, in a very individualized way, helping students articulate what their plans are for post-secondary education and keeping track of where every single student is in the pipeline. We think that if we do those things and do them in a robust way, that we will have increased student outcomes, that we will, in partnership with schools, expand upon and build a college-going culture. And I think that's where sustainability is as well. So just a proof point, I'd mentioned that we are currently implementing our second Gear Up grant. The first Gear Up grant worked in 9 rural communities across the state. It lasted from 2005 to 2011. And through that grant, we had a 10.7 percentage point increase in college going. Some high schools increased college going rates over 20 percentage points. All the schools that we served had college going rates that were well below the state average, and we had many schools who were able to grow their rates to above state average levels. And I think this is, again, an example of what we anticipate doing with Advise Tennessee. The current Gear Up grant serves nearly over 1,300 students. FAFSA completion rates have increased by 20 percentage points. One high school that we serve had 90% of seniors complete the FAFSA. Research points to the fact that FAFSA completion is a significant indicator of students' successful transition to post-secondary education. So again, these are the types of things that we are hoping to replicate and plan to replicate with Advise Tennessee. School partnership. At its core, Advise Tennessee is a partnership between the Tennessee Higher Education Commission and the partner high school. We are approaching this initiative not as an entity that's coming into a school to provide a service, but really, what can we accomplish together? Every single school is unique. There are existing services that are being provided across the state and being provided extremely well by school counselors, by other nonprofit partners, and the intent of the program is to not replace the excellent work that's happening across the state. It's to supplement that work. So again, coming in as a partner with the school and really creating a vision of what would best serve the students in that school. And we know that schools know that best. And every single school is unique. Every school's calendar looks different and operates in a different way. And we want to be respectful of those things and really want the advisor that we will be hiring to be embedded into the school's culture and to tailor their work in ways that meet the specific needs and structure of the school. Again, college advisors, we're looking forward to them being a part of the team and really have that focus on building a college-going culture. So the metrics that we will be looking at a state level, but also on a school and student level, are listed on the screen. So the metrics we'll be tracking with this program are college applications, college acceptances, college enrollment, scholarship application, and I won't read them for you. And I will say we will post a video of this webinar onto the website, and we also have a copy of this PowerPoint on the Advise Tennessee website as well. These are the things that, as I referenced earlier, that at any given time we want to make sure advisors know which students have completed a college application, where are they applying. And some schools do a great job of tracking this already. This will just be but we're hoping that we will be able to provide another set of hands, another person who will be able to track these things, monitor students, kind of progress through the pipeline, and then provide you, the school folks, with data, meaningful data on where your school is and what can be done to continue to move the needle so that more students enroll in post-secondary education. The services that we'll be providing through Advise Tennessee will include one-on-one student advising, workshops for students and families, senior college applications, Tennessee Promise application, college application week, FAFSA completion services, college fairs, scholarship application, where appropriate, ACT preparation. I think we want to make sure that we align that work with the new work that's coming out of the Tennessee Department of Education, college signing day, financial aid, literacy. To kind of give you a sense of that, when students do receive a financial aid letter, helping students decipher that letter so they make an informed decision about their post-secondary options. Summer melt interventions, we hear this all the time where when students report through surveys and other means at the end of their senior year who's going to go to college, it's always higher than what actually happens. And we want to provide you that data of not only, we want to provide you back data of who is enrolled and where they're going, but provide summer melt interventions so that we ensure that students' intentions in May are followed through upon when they enter post-secondary education in the fall. And then also FAFSA verification assistance. This has been something that's come up. It's always been a hurdle, but it's something particularly with the Tennessee Promise that has come up when students are pulled for verification, helping students navigate that process so that they are able to enroll and take advantage of the financial aid that they're eligible for. So the organizational chart, the way this will work in our office, the program will live in the Office of P16 Initiatives here at THEC. We are hiring, in final stages of hiring, a program director. There will be 2 to 3 regional coordinators that will be spread across the state, and then the college advisor will be embedded in the school. I want to highlight this slide in particular to kind of speak that, while the advisor will report directly to a regional coordinator, administrators and counselors and teachers will have access to that advisor, and so that's part of this partnership. And from a leadership perspective, administrators will also have a direct line to the regional coordinator who the college advisor reports to ensure that services are being implemented in a way that is most effective and meets the expectations of both Advise Tennessee and the school that we are partnering with. So who is eligible? Eligible schools will include public high schools serving 9th through 12th grade students. Schools will have to have a college going rate less than the state average based on a 3-year average, so over a 3-year time period. The reason we did it this way is that it both will reflect pre and post Tennessee Promise work. Also for small schools who have a relatively small senior class, we want to ensure that a difference of 5 students that kind of bucks the trend doesn't make a school ineligible. We want to really look longitudinally. What has the trend been, and that's kind of where we're sitting in terms of eligibility for the program. A list of schools that meet the college going rate requirement is available on the Advise Tennessee website, which you see there at the bottom of your screen. I will make a note here too, and this will come up when we talk about the application, about this idea of one advisor to every 350 students. So we know, just looking at the eligible schools, there is a wide range of senior classes. And so I anticipate that the majority of advisors will be placed in a school, and that's where they will spend 100% of their time and effort. It is conceivable, however, that if a school district, let's say, has 2 high schools that are relatively small, and it really doesn't even have to be in one district. It could be neighboring districts that both apply and meet the minimum requirements and rise to the top in terms of the selection process. And then if they combined would kind of meet our ratio, we are considering the possibility of them placing one advisor who will split their time between the 2 schools. And so I know in some of our Gear Up work, we have some school districts who have a county school and then have a more rural or a mountain school that serves high school students. And so in that instance, we would more than likely have an advisor who would spend 3 days of their week at the county school and then 1 day a week at the smaller school. So that's kind of how we're envisioning that ratio to work. But I was asked this question earlier in the week, and I want to be really clear about this. In no way are we disincentivizing smaller schools from applying to participate in the program. We know that ratio is going to be fluid depending on the schools that are selected. So partner school selection is based on a school's commitment to building a college-going culture and partnering with Advise Tennessee, which is really key. This is not necessarily a school articulating kind of how they plan to build out a program. It really is looking at what's already happening in your school and how can we leverage all of those things along with Advise Tennessee collectively together to really focus on increasing college going within the partner high school. We have a notice of interest. This is not binding. Some of the original materials that we sent out there noted a notice of interest due date or a priority date of early June. We've extended that. It's really going to indefinitely. You can go to the Advise Tennessee website. What's key about the notice of interest It's what allows us to know who is interested. So when we disseminate information about the program, we get closer to the deadline for applications, we are making sure that the information is getting into the hands of the right staff members at the schools or the school districts. Proposals are due by August 12th, 2016. The key about the proposals, the applying entity is the high school with approval of the director of schools. And so a school district would not be able to submit an application for all of their schools. I think what's key about this, and something we've learned in other initiatives, is that there needs to be, we're looking for a high level of school building buy-in into this initiative and to the work that we're going to collectively be undertaking starting in the fall. So again, proposals are due August 12th of this year. We have a two-part review process. There will be a reader review based on a rubric that was published in the request for proposals, and so that is also on the Advise Tennessee website. And then based on the reader scores, we will invite schools to come interview for the final slots. And really this is just a check to kind of then really create a lot of clarity between the program and the school level staff to say, you know, this is what the initiative is aiming to do. Is this a good fit? Is this meeting your expectations as a school? Is the partnership meeting Advise Tennessee's expectations? And those meetings will be held August 24th through the 31st. They will include members of the THEC team, and we're asking that schools bring at least a school administrator and one counselor who works with senior students. So again, have this conversation about how the initiative will work and how it's a good fit or not. And then school selections will be made on September 6th, and we will announce those through a press release, also with direct communication to whoever was listed as the contact on the application. I will say, in terms of timeline, and we'll talk about this later as well, we then hope to begin implementing services starting in October. The intent being then that's a good timeline with the new FAFSA timeline, which starts October 1. It also gets out of the kind of the realm of the beginning of school, things have settled down, and then we're really ready to start implementing those services. So the request for proposals is, again, it's available on tn.gov /THEC/topic/Advise Tennessee. There are 4 sections of the RFP and the proposal: a cover letter, a school commitment to the Advise Tennessee partnership, school attendance information, and letters of support. And so I will walk through each of those sections here in a minute. There's a 10-page limit, excluding the cover page and letters of support. But again, the RFP focuses on school commitment to building a college-going culture and partnering with Advise Tennessee. Proposals, again, are due August 12th, and they will be emailed to melinda.dunn@tn.gov. That's the method of submission. There is no mail. You don't have to mail in a copy. So Section A, the cover page. This basically gives us all the information about your school, about the applying entity. It provides signatures of the applying school principal along with the director of schools. Section B is school commitment to the Advise Tennessee partnership. We're looking for schools to outline their commitment to increasing the number of students who access and succeed in post-secondary education. So the types of questions we're asking is, how does Advise Tennessee address the school's particular needs? What existing student-level services or interventions are currently in place? How can these be aligned with Advise Tennessee? Again, it is not our intention to replicate or to duplicate what's happening already in a school, but to supplement. How will the entire school community support efforts to improve college-going rates? How will school staff partner with the college advisor? Key to this project is this idea of one-on-one advising. And so we understand that every school schedule works and functions differently. One of the questions that we are asking in this section is, how can the one-on-one advising sessions with juniors and seniors be accomplished? Is that through RTI times? Is it through a particular course period? Is there an advisory where that can be done? That is key to the model that we're hoping to implement with Advise Tennessee. Also, we have some questions about office space, and so we would like for there to be dedicated space for the advisor to conduct their work that's appropriate for meeting with students. But let me be clear to say that this doesn't have to be an enclosed office. It could be part of an open area and a counseling office. There's a lot of different ways that schools can accomplish this. We know that space is at a premium in the majority of schools, and so to be real clear, we're not looking for an office with a window per se. It's a dedicated space where they would have access to phone, printer, and those kinds of things, and be able to meet with students. Section B also outlines, there's a commitment chart that outlines really the components of the program. So we're asking schools to designate a Advise Tennessee liaison who is kind of that point of contact for the college advisors. In a lot of places, that might be a school counselor, it might be an administrator. I think every school will approach that slightly differently. Collaborative development and implementation of a work plan. What we anticipate doing is that as we begin to kick off the program, we will develop a work plan in partnership with that liaison and other school staff members so that we're all really clear on what we hope to accomplish. I think that key from our perspective is there being a lot of clarity and transparency about who's going to be responsible for what so that schools have a really clear understanding of what their expectations should be of Advise Tennessee and vice versa. Again, we're asking schools to allow time for one-on-one advising. We're asking schools to partner with Advise Tennessee staff in arranging and allowing students to attend at least one college visit. We'll partner with schools on thinking through the logistics of how that might work. I referenced Path to College events earlier, so we do want our partner high schools to have college application week activities, college signing day, Tennessee FAFSA Frenzy, etc. We will be providing workshops, allowing time for that. We will also be implementing a text messaging platform. There is some really fantastic research that speaks to using text messaging or similar structures to increase the number of students who are actually enrolling in higher education. Some of that research indicates increases of in 10% or more. And so we have procured a text messaging platform that we will be providing at no cost to the school to accomplish that. And so this is something that's part of this initiative. We will be pulling together a MOU and data agreements just to be really clear what data needs to flow so we can evaluate where we are. And then we also want to provide you the data back so that you know how the program is being implemented and the impact that it's having. We're also asking schools to partner with Advise Tennessee in creating a college access steering committee. This is an excellent way to engage community members and businesses and local government in this work. So basically, this will be a group of school and community members. I think this is part of the partnership with the school where if the school would prefer to be the convener of that, or if you'd prefer the advisor to be the convener, I think that's conversations we most certainly want to have. But through this committee, we want to be able to report out what's happening in terms of all the metrics that I referenced earlier. And I think this is a fantastic opportunity for schools to, again, get community buy-in to the college-going process. School counselor, professional development. Part of our continual training of the college advisors will be regular meetings and professional development that we will be providing. One of the things that we'd like to offer and ask is that schools allow at least one school counselor to attend that professional development once a semester, where we will bring in state and national professional development experts around this college access topic to provide, again, PD to further the advisor's work and then also the school counselor's work in this space. We will have an annual principal and liaison one-day workshop just to kind of give a check-in on here's what's happening, how the program is working, and then we're asking that the advisor really is a member of the school team. We don't want this person to operate separate from what's happening in the school, so we'd ask that the advisor be able to attend faculty meetings to really integrate into the school's culture, again, as we try to collectively move the needle around college going. Section C is actually, and I did not update this slide, it should read school enrollment information as opposed to attendance. Really what we're looking for are the number of 11th grade and 12th grade students and the number of 9th through 12th grade students for this last academic year, and then also what you anticipate your class to look like the next academic year. We know that this is a little bit of reading the tea leaves a little bit. We're just looking for estimations as we kind of think through the size of the schools that we will be hoping to serve. And then Section D, letters of support. Applying high schools must provide a letter of support from a director of schools, a high school principal, at least one counselor working with high school seniors, and then you're encouraged to elicit additional letters of support from community partners and other key staff who will participate in building a school college-going culture. So again, these are lead teachers, community partners. It really is whoever you think would be a player in this work. We encourage you to elicit letters of support from those individuals as well. The scoring rubric, we've provided a detailed rubric. It's attachment C of the RFP document that outlines the weight assigned to each question and outlines how readers will determine your proposal score. That is all available at the Advise Tennessee website, which is provided, the link is provided there on this bottom of this page. Important dates. So we released the call for proposals on mid-May. Submissions of notices of interest are ongoing. The deadline to submit a proposal will be August 12th at 4 p.m. Central Time. Notifications will be delivered to those schools who have been selected for team interviews at the end of August, and then we will start those interviews, and we will more than likely do them regionally across the state between August 24th and August 31st. We then will plan to announce selected schools on the 6th of September after Labor Day, and then we will host a mandatory principal workshop in Nashville September 21st. And then we will hope to start delivering services October 12th of 2016. So that's the timeline for selection and the beginning of implementation. I will say, kind of one final note before we open it up for any questions that you may have. The program director position, we are in the final stages of selecting that individual, but we are still accepting applications for the 2 to 3 regional coordinators and 30 college advisors. I mentioned the college advisors specifically because in our view, the ideal situation would be that advisors come from the communities that they are serving. So if you, after listening to this webinar and looking over the materials, you really do think this is something that your school will pursue, we do encourage you to share the advisor posting with folks from your community. We plan on selecting these individuals. I will say thus far, for all 3 levels of positions, we've received over 400 applications. Nearly 200 just for the college advisors alone, which is exciting. We're really pleased with the response we've gotten. But again, we would encourage potential applicants to be a partner school to share the advice posting with those in your community. So with that, I will open it up for questions. I will say, so the webinar software works in such a way where I will open it up. If you are going through your computer, you have to have a microphone in order to ask a question. If you're on the phone, you'll be fine. But then one of the problems that we perennially have is just background noise. So if I do have some background noise, I might start muting some folks. But just if you have a question, feel free to raise your hand through the software or to type in a question if you are for some reason on mute. So this will just take me a quick second. I have to do it individually, and then I will open it up for questions to ask.
Hello?
Yes. And almost there. Okay, what questions can I answer? Are there questions I can answer?
Okay, Mr. Grant, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, this is Jason Bridgman, principal at Northside in Jackson. Is there a salary schedule that is already posted for these positions? For example, the college advisors, will it be comparable to counselors' positions locally as far as salary schedule?
Great question. So nationally, a lot the programs similar to this often pay. They're usually near peers, and they are paying in the mid-20s. Part of what's different about the model that we're looking at is we wanted to pay the advisor something that was commensurate with what a new teacher would be paid, and so we have priced these the advisors at $40,000 a year, and that will be the starting salary for all the advisors statewide.
Okay.
Great question. Thank you. Any other questions? Going once? Going twice? Okay. Well, I have listed my contact information, troy.grant@tn.gov. You can also, this is my direct phone number, 615-532-0423. Please do not hesitate to reach out with any questions that you have. What's really key here, and this is, we really are open to receiving your questions. This is a partnership with the partner high schools, and we really do want to make sure this is a good fit. So I did notice here I had two questions that popped up, and for whatever reason I'm unable to read the questions that were typed in. So I think I have a question from Star and one from Whitney. Are those questions that you would be comfortable asking over the phone, or do you have access to a microphone?
No access.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I'm the district counseling coordinator. I actually work at central office in my county. Could I be liaison for the program? We only have 2 high schools in our county.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so I think that we've had similar questions from other districts. So I think we would want to have, each school would need to apply individually, and we would want them to designate somebody within the school to be like the play space point of contact, but we absolutely would like to partner if there's districts who are interested in with district folks. And one of the things that came out, we were talking to a school district in East Tennessee. I mean, there was interest in like, well, as a district counseling person, I'd like to see what's working and kind of so we can think about how we can scale these things and ensure that it's fitting into our more comprehensive school counseling program, and we are very open and excited about those types of partnerships.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Star, I think I may have heard you, but I'm not completely sure. Do you have a question?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, ma'am.
I was just going to ask, do you foresee this program lasting more than 3 years with the funding by the State Department?
Yes. So thank you for asking that question. That's something I should have highlighted. So we do have 3 years of funding from the governor's budget. The way the funding is set up is it's non-recurring funds with a commitment from the governor for 3 years of funding. But the intention here, and this is both the intention of THEC and the governor's office, this is being viewed as a pilot. We're looking to, part of the reason why we're looking at the data is not just to monitor, our progress and do continual improvement, but also to tell the story that there's impact here. So we do anticipate seeking funding beyond the 3 years. I will say, however, I don't know that part of what we are evaluating at this point and why we're asking for a 3-year commitment from schools is I don't know that the best use of these funds is to remain in these schools indefinitely. I think part of what we're trying to do statewide is build capacity around this work so that we can then spread that work to other schools once we've seen and realized success and incorporated that success into the fabric of a school over the 3 years. So I do anticipate us requesting additional funding after the 3 years, but I think as of right now, our thinking is that we would be in the awarded schools for 3 years and then move on. But I think that will evolve as we implement the program, if I'm real transparent with you.
Okay.
But wonderful question. Thank you. Samantha, do you have a question?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
How many partner schools do you anticipate in receiving the awards?
Yeah, so part of that depends on the size of the schools and kind of geographically where they're located. I mean, so we have it capped just in terms of budget of 30 advisors. So we will have at least 30 high schools that will be selected for this. That being said, it could be that an advisor, as I mentioned earlier, would serve more than one school. So I'm thinking if I were to kind of benchmark, kind of a guess, I would say between 30 and 40 schools will be awarded or selected.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, if you apply for this new initiative and you're not approved, will you be able to have the Ready coordinator housed in your building?
I had a little of interference. So I heard if you were apply and you were not approved, what was the last part?
And you have a Ready coordinator in your building. Will that program still exist if you're not approved for this new initiative?
Oh, absolutely. And so that's a really fantastic question in terms of, so you know, the counties that are out there that work with the Ready program for the Tennessee Promise and other work. So the implementation of this program has no bearing on a school district or a school's work with other organizations like Ready or AIRS or Tennessee Achieves. I think it's just a supplement too. So yeah, so whether or not a school is selected, we would look forward to partnering with the Ready folks who are embedded in the school. And I will also say, related to that, just real quick, that any school that participates in the Gear Up Tennessee program that's administered by our office is not eligible, in that the money and services that they're getting are very similar through the Gear Up program, and there's a financial piece of that program that is above and beyond what we'll be doing with Advice Tennessee. So I should have noted that earlier, that Gear Up Tennessee schools, the current schools, are not eligible to be Advice Tennessee schools. But was there a second part of that question?
Yes, so you're telling me that there is a chance that if we apply and we are approved, we could have a Ready representative as well as the new Tennessee Advise representative in our building at the same time?
Yes, ma'am. If that was the school's decision, absolutely.
Okay.
Lois Ross, is there a question from Lois Ross?
Hey, how are you?
Okay. How are you?
Here. Okay. Yes. Yeah. You can step in. Yeah. Shoot, yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you. Is that a question, or is that someone else talking to someone in their office?
The first one at
12. Yeah.
Okay, and then I know there's another one at 1:30.
Is
Is
it
there
4
one
or
this way?
5?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm thinking.
Okay. So
For some reason,
let's see. Janet, we have a question from Janet.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. You take whatever you need.
Let's see. Again, Janet, are you there? Okay, well, if there are no more questions, we'll go ahead and conclude the call. If you have a question that you did not have answered, please feel free to email me. Thank you so much for your time. We know that summer is kind of it can be a busy time in preparation for next year, and we look forward to partnering with many of you going forward with Advice Tennessee. Thanks again for your time, and we will post this webinar in the next couple of days. Thanks so much.